There have been many iconic names throughout the history of television, but none like Linda Evans and Joan Collins, especially in the 1980s with their hit and classic soap opera, Dynasty. They played the role of rivals in the soap opera, Krystle Carrington and Alexis Colby, respectively. This on-screen rivalry had become the thing of the TV legends, but didn't just end in the fictional world, but rather extended to reality, mirroring their relationship in the drama. In a fairly candid moment, Evans admitted that she actually really hated Joan Collins, reflecting on a dynamic that was as charged off-camera as it was on. So, what had actually been going? Evans was already known by the world for her sweet, down-to-earth persona, embodying the all-American girl next door perfectly. On the other hand, Joan Collins was the confident, sharp, and unapologetic Alexis, the villain the audience loved to hate on. It was the ultimate television rivalry, and audiences couldn't get enough of their dramatic, often violent catfights. However, what viewers didn't realize was that the tension between them actually extended well beyond the script. Over the years, Evans has opened up about her frustrations with Joan Collins various times, describing their vastly different personalities as one of the key reasons for their discord. She went on to say that Collins was different from anyone she had ever worked with before. Linda described Joan as strange, going as far as to label her as domineering during their time together. Collins had a bold presence that not only dominated the attention on screen, but also ruled the Dynasty set. According to Evans, Collins exerted control and often made rehearsals even more difficult, as she had a habit of being loud and taking charge during filming. Evans's completely contrasting personality, as a person who had always been more laid back and reserved, found Joan's overpowering nature exhausting. She revealed that working with her co-star was anything but easy, explaining that Joan had this peculiar character, and she couldn't stand Collins's constant need to be the center of attention. Seemingly, Evans wasn't the only one who felt this way either. Other cast members reportedly found Joan's assertiveness overwhelming. However, since the younger actress was one of the essential parts of the show, no one dared confront her directly. During Dynasty's peak, the conflict between Krystle and Alexis drew millions of views each week, but the tension was high behind the scenes as well. Evans explained that she grew to dread the rehearsal process with Joan. According to the older actress, Collins always tried to control even the direction of their scenes, demanding to rehearse lines repeatedly until she was satisfied. She then further explained that it wasn't actually about perfecting the scene. Instead, it was about Joan making sure everything was done the way she wanted it to be done. This became an added source of constant friction for the two actresses. Joan Collins, who often played the villain, carried herself with the same presence as her character, which naturally rubbed the people working with her the wrong way. While Linda's Krystle was supposed to be a strong and calm character, Evans herself had felt like she had to constantly check her patience with Collins. It was almost as if their real-life feud went on to feed their on-screen rivalry, giving fans more drama than they could ever know. It wouldn't be proper to mention the two rivals of Dynasty and not mention their iconic catfights. These very fights went on to become a cultural sensation, with audiences eagerly tuning in to watch Krystle and Alexis tear each other apart, both figuratively and literally. These scenes included throwing punches, slapping, and pulling hair while miraculously always maintaining their perfectly styled outfit. Although these fights might seem playful and forced at some points, they did mirror some of the frustration Evans felt toward Collins in real life. Evans later revealed that some of the fights got so intense during filming that they left her physically and emotionally drained. She recalled one fight scene that went a little too far. It was one of the more well-known fights taking place in a lily pond with the two characters, Krystle and Alexis, clawing and slapping at each other in their glamorous gowns. Evans later revealed that the scene was just as grueling to film as it appeared on screen. She said that it was one of the hardest scenes she had ever done. She described as being soaked and covered in mud, and all the tension between them was real. Going on to explain, Evans stated that every time Joan pulled her hair or threw a slap, she had to remind herself to stay professional. It really couldn't have been easy. As mentioned before, Evans and Collins' dynamic off of the set had been far from friendly. They often avoided each other outside of filming, rather choosing to keep a professional distance. Linda admitted that she found it hard to bond with Joan, not only because of her strange character, but also because they were simply two very different people. Where Linda preferred a quiet, low-key, and simpler lifestyle, Joan reveled in the more glamorous Hollywood scene, attending parties, and being in the spotlight. Evans, later in her interviews, reflected on how exhausting it was to work in such an environment where she felt constantly fighting and feeling overshadowed. According to the actress, Joan was very aware of her persona and how she was viewed by others. She even embraced it fully, but Evans could just not do it. It wasn't her, as she preferred to keep to herself. Linda then explained that the more Collins sought attention, the more Linda withdrew from the chaos, which only added to the tension between them. Much time has passed since their time on Dynasty, and both actresses have spoken about their relationship multiple times with differing levels of reflection. While Linda once said she hated Joan Collins, she has also acknowledged that time has played a hand in easing those negative feelings somewhat. Perhaps their rivalry was somewhat fueled by the high pressure of the show's success, along with their personality differences. More recently, Evans has admitted to better understanding Joan's perspective a little more now, though she still finds her a complex and challenging individual. In her account of Collins, Evans states that perhaps the former actress had been doing what she needed to do to survive, particularly in the cutthroat industry of the entertainment world. However, Evans also admitted that she's moved on from the past, choosing to focus on the positive memories of Dynasty rather than the negatives. That is indeed a relief to hear Joan Collins has spoken about her time on Dynasty as well, but interestingly, her opinion on her relationship with Linda Evans seems to be less emotional and rather more serious. Though she acknowledged that there was tension on the set of Dynasty, Collins brushed off the idea of a highly serious feud, saying that it was merely two strong personalities trying to coexist. The younger actress once said Linda was very different from her, but was still a lovely woman. Continuing on that statement, she said they were both professionals and got the job done. There is no doubt about that. For Collins, it is apparent that any personal differences between them took a backseat to the work they did together. She has always been known for being unapologetic about her approach to her career, and while some people and audiences may have not liked that, she certainly left a lasting impact on television history. We can see the huge difference between the two brilliant actresses. In the end, the tension between Linda Evans and Joan Collins only added on to the appeal of the hit show, Dynasty. Their on-screen rivalry enchanted as well as captivated the audiences and became one of the defining aspects of the show's success. Behind the scenes, though, their personal struggles, conflicting egos, and differing values made for a relationship that was merely tolerated for the sake of being professional. Linda Evans may have admitted to hating Joan Collins at the height of their show and their own fame, but time has certainly softened that negative sentiment. Today, both women are recognized as legends in television history, forever remembered and linked by their unforgettable roles in Dynasty. So, while the drama between Krystle and Alexis may have been scripted, the tension between Evans and Collins was all too real. The two amazing women and great actresses did eventually learn to respect their co-star, making for one of the most iconic pairings on television while also making absolutely legendary marks. So, what do you think? Could these two have ever made amends, or was their rivalry simply destined to be? What are your thoughts on the whole situation? We'd love to hear your take, so let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.